So the mainline update with all of those core changes dropped on PC yesterday. Let me ask you, right, if you're on PC, because I know you console guys don't have it yet, how are you feeling now? Come tell Papa Potato. Okay, pull up a seat, watch your likes and dislikes, because there are definitely some really welcome changes and some that were added, I guess, at the last minute without us knowing until those patch notes dropped. Now, the good and the bad from our first mainline update in 2020. Let's go over it and talk about each of them. Now, shield gating is a really welcome addition, of course, and it removes that insane one-hit kill crap that we used to suffer from, you know, dead out of nowhere from across the room, all health and shield gone in one hit. Now that killer shot only eats into your shield while giving you that kind of split second of damage immunity before the follow-up shots touch your health pool. But this immunity only seems to kick in after your shield has fully recharged second time around, so don't expect to have a tanky shield regen build, something like this, Hildren's passive of shield gating, with the benefit of restores from the Arcane Aegis and Arcane Barrier. Now, the new shield gating for other Warframes is only really a stop to that one hit kill, that's it, but shields also have that 25% damage reduction attached to them now, which is also really nice for Warframes like Mag, which are now a lot of fun to use, or any Warframe that can go into that overshield limit, whether it's Volt, whether it's Trinity, whether it's Mag, you know what I mean, or Harrow as well. Now, the big downside to shield gating, or to us getting shield gating added into the game, is that enemies also get it. Enemies like the arbitration drones, those little red feckers who protect other enemies from taking any damage. These don't seem to have a weak point, so you're going to need to bust their shield first and then hit them a second time to blow away their health. Other Corpus enemies, of course, have got those weak spots, so you can headshot them to instant kill them, or you could use a Banshee with her sonar, which will help big time as well. But for arbitration missions, I guess they just got that little bit trickier, just a little bit. Now, another good thing from the update is that our weapons still feel powerful. Most of them anyway. If it could kill quickly before this update, then chances are it can still do the same right now, or kill even quicker at higher levels. You just might need to change your elemental damage types around. Enemy armor scaling is nicely leveled off, so they don't feel like big bullet sponges on endless missions, but still deal high amounts of damage, so the difficulty in staying alive is still there. It just allows you, I guess, a quicker gameplay loop, so you're not stuck, I guess, using really cheesy tactics in order to bring down really heavily armored enemies. They don't have the same amount of armor, so you can take them out that little bit quicker and move on to the next group of enemies. But like I said, they still deal a lot of damage. Elemental status changes are a flip of a coin for me, and I know for a lot of you as well. The old system allowed impact, puncture and slash to have a higher priority when you would deal damage to an enemy. You had more chance to see one of those showing up. But with this update, that has been removed. Expect to see other elemental effects show up on enemies more so than IPS, or at the same time as IPS. Maybe to combat slash heavy builds, maybe, just maybe. Corrosive no longer fully strips enemy armor, which is actually a good thing, because when armor was fully gone, you lost the bonus damage from that corrosive. This way you will still deal big chunks of damage, and again, like I said, enemy armor does not scale the way it used to, so you're not as heavily relied upon using corrosive. You can deal a lot of damage to enemies now, even if they have got a percentage of their armor left on, and as a result kill them really quickly. So corrosive and heat still gets the job done, still kills quickly, but the new viral effect, which no longer halves enemies' health but instead will give you a bonus damage of 100% to the first stack of viral, and then another bonus of 25% to stack on top of that, all the way up to 10 stacks for a bonus of 325% bonus damage, now amplifies your slash damage procs as well. So if you've got a boost of 325% bonus damage and you get a slash proc, that percentage is going to boost your slash damage right up and have you dealing a lot of damage to that target. So running with that combo is a serious option right now, or on any slash heavy weapon or a weapon with hunter munitions viable on it to force those slash procs is something you should be looking at running. Actually, any weapon that can get viral, heat and slash together are incredible to use. Increased health damage, armor reduced by heat, and increased bleed procs as well. But the bad side of the elemental status changes is that gas, damage feels really bad right now, but apparently it is being worked on, as well as impact damage according to Rebecca on last night's prime time. The new radiation status effect kind of sucks because enemies deal feck all damage to one another when they're under the effect of a radiation status, so amplifying feck all by 500% still means they deal feck all. The new blast status effect is pretty meh as well. Giving enemies less accuracy sounds really nice and all, but when you blow them up with an explosive weapon to give that blast damage effect on them, they will still have no accuracy because you've just blown them up, so they've got no hands, no eyeballs, no fucking accuracy. So it feels like a wasted element in my eyes. Magnetic is pretty cool for Corpus, but that's really about it. Now, on the topic of shotguns, they're fine. In fact, with the changes and the boost in base status chance that a lot of shotguns got, shotguns like the Sobek, the Corinth, the Exorgist, and even the Heck, the Vicar Heck, feel much stronger than they did before. Again, enemy armor scaling plays a part in this, with the Stun Wraith and of course the Comb still melting enemies just as quickly as they did before the update. In fact, removing that 100% status cap that we've had in game for such a long time has given us some new weapon choices, more variation. Now that some weapons can easily cross that 100% status, and I don't mean the visual bug that you're seeing in game right now where you're seeing weapons with 300% status chance. Apparently that's not supposed to be there and it will be fixed. But weapons like the Glaxion Vandal, the Hema, because it's a viral weapon, the Phage as well, are all really great options. And the Legion is absolutely godlike. Weeping Wounds on status heavy melee weapons right now is more of a must-have than ever. When it comes to shotguns, do me a favour, test them for yourself. Don't listen to everything that everyone is saying. Jump into the simulacrum, see how quickly your build will kill enemies compared to what it did before. But from a damage perspective, it still feels very similar to what we had before, just that we can kill a little bit quicker on really high level enemies than we were able to before this mainline update. Removal of self-damage is another talking point from this update, and it is a welcomed change by a lot of you, but at what cost? Forget Chroma for a minute, forget Chroma and his self-damage build. They have now added the stagger mechanic or backflip on all weapons that have an explosive effect of any kind, even if that weapon didn't deal self-damage to begin with. Weapons like the Tombfinger Kit Gun, the Opticore Vandal, the Simulor, the Staticore and others now have a close range stagger on their normal shots once that kind of a little bit of an explosion kicks off. A second of you and your Warframe being interrupted, whereas weapons like the Brahma, the Ogress and other old self-damage weapons that would instantly kill you have a much larger area of effect to give you that stagger effect. Getting caught in this effect will cost you some shield or health damage because it does last a few seconds. Now, the worst weapon for this right now is probably the Staticore. A fully charged Staticore shot seems to hit you from about 10 meters away, which is way outside of the visual explosion effect that you see once you fire that charged shot, and it will really stagger you. Handspring seems to speed up the animation of this stagger, but sure-footed doesn't seem to affect it one little bit. So if you're running with explosive weapons, if you want to try out running with those, then having handspring equipped might be a wise choice. Titania now, with her changes and being able to cycle through her buffs and have all of those active at the same time, is absolutely amazing. Her tether ability being anchored to the ground and not floating off into the distance is great as well. Titania is even more of a monster than she was before. Definitely worth revisiting if you haven't used her in a while. So to recap on this video, armor scaling gives us a faster gameplay loop while keeping the damage difficulty from higher level enemies. Status changes means that we have to change the meta a little bit and use different combos than what we have been used to over the last few years, while some of them are getting further changes to bring them up in line with what we have already. Enemies still die as quick as they did before, or even quicker at higher level. Shield gating is great for one hit deaths. 25% damage reduction on shields is great. Self-damage removal is a welcome change for a lot of you, but the stagger that they have added to non-self-damage weapons or any weapon with an explosive radius is bonkers bad and really makes me not want to use those fucking weapons. So hopefully they revert or they tone that down a little bit. Shotguns are still fine, test them out for yourselves. In fact, we now have some new additions of weapons that are definitely worth revisiting. Don't get stuck in the old mindset of just running with corrosive and heat. Try out viral and heat instead and see how that works, and then make your opinion. When it comes to arcanes, they seem pretty much okay, but it is going to take us 21 arcanes to get to rank 5, which is a little bit fucking too much in my eyes. I'm not happy with that. Energize has a 15-second cooldown, which again, you can't use another energy orb, or it won't activate if you have Energize kind of active in the top right hand corner of your screen if you see that arcane symbol for Energize. So it's got a 15-second cooldown before it can proc again, but even then it doesn't have a 100% chance to proc, so it may take even longer for that Energize to kick back in. Arcane Grace feels okay. Arcane Guardian feels okay as well. Aegis feels really good on Warframes that have got a high shield amount, or Warframes that can go into overshield. Running an Arcane Aegis and an Arcane Barrier on my mag was really fucking fun. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But like I said at the start of the video, what is your good and your bad? What do you enjoy about this mainline update or not enjoy? Let me know in the comment section below. Do me a huge favour, hit that like button, or don't. Subscribe, or don't. And as always, thanks very much for watching.